Tyler from Aspire Sports. I'm going to give you my Week 13 waiver wire ads. Now, this is before the Monday night game, so if something crazy happens in that game, say Chris Carson gets hurt again or something like that, obviously Carlos Hyde would go to the top of the list, but this is also under 50%, 55% rostered. So under 55% rostered, some of these guys might not be available, other ones might be, so let's go ahead and just get into it. The first one here, I've been saying him for a couple weeks now, is Cam Akers. If you have a spot at the end of your bench, I know this week was crazy with injuries, COVID, the Steelers game being uncertain and everything, so you probably didn't have enough bench spots, but if you do now, I think Cam Akers is a high priority ad. I think he's the best person in this backfield. I've been saying it for weeks now. He's the best person in this backfield, the best running back. Maybe they finally turn to him, and there's some beatable defenses coming up, especially on the ground. Arizona on the ground's not very good. New England on the ground's not very good, and also the Jets. So if you have a bench spot, I think Cam Akers is definitely worth an ad. Also a team that's pretty good at running the football. Let's go to the next one. That's going to be Devontae Booker. Now, I'm not sure if Josh Jacobs misses this game. I saw a report today that it says that he should be good, but in the chance that he doesn't play, I think he's also if you need someone for this week, a high priority ad, plays the Jets, it would be in the running back 2 conversation, just because he's going to probably see a bunch of volume and they play the Jets. I know it was an ugly display from the Raiders this week. It was very ugly, but I expect next week to be better. So he's also, if Josh Jacobs misses, but he's also somebody that is good to just have on your bench if you have a spot that you need somebody like high upside. If Josh Jacobs were to go down, he'd be the guy. So I think he's a pretty solid ad regardless, just as a high potential upside lottery ticket for the playoffs if Josh Jacobs missed time. The next one is going to be Alexander Mattison. Now this is also if Dalvin Cook misses. If Dalvin Cook misses, obviously he's one of the higher ads. I'd probably want him over Devontae Booker, honestly, but Dalvin Cook did finish the game, so I don't know if he's going to be okay. Obviously that's a good sign, but at the same time, ankle could swell up, might not be able to play this week. Keep your eye out on the injury report. We'll also keep you updated throughout the week. But they play Jacksonville next week. Jacksonville's terrible. Again, they're probably just as bad as the Jets. I think Jacksonville is honestly worse than the Jets against the run. So he would be my first ad over Devontae Booker, but it depends on Dalvin Cook, his availability. Next one would be Sterling Shepard. Right now he's 52% rostered, but also now you got Danny Dimes is probably going to miss some time here, but hey, it's slim picking out there on the waiver wire. But this is somebody, I think he should be higher owned than this. 52% rostered is not that high. And it's just somebody who's constantly getting targets, is catching the ball a decent amount, especially in PPR leagues. He should be higher owned than this. The next one would be Frank Gore. Somebody who's just seeing touches, right? Hey, he keeps producing week in and week out. Gets the Raiders next week. They're okay. But hey, it's somebody, it's a running back. You could probably just put him in there as RB2, has put up RB2 numbers the past 2 weeks. So he's capable, and he's somebody that's playing pretty well as well. I know he's like 80 years old, but hey, it's somebody. It's somebody you can throw in there in the flex play. Better than Kendall Hinton, right? Kendall, like, we're not relying on that anymore. So Frank Gore, go ahead and pick him up if you need some flex help. Next one would be Breshad Perriman. 2 Jets players in a row. Pass game was pretty good with Sam Darnold as well. If he would have scored a touchdown, even better. And that was also against a pretty tough Miami secondary. So if you need some wide receiver help, once again, some flex help, he's an okay ad. Definitely prefer the other guys, but okay. Next one is going to be Jordan Wilkins. Also depends on the availability of Jonathan Taylor. I don't think Jonathan Taylor actually had COVID. I think it was his girlfriend that tested positive for COVID, so he had to basically isolate himself. So I'm not sure the whole situation, how long he's actually able to come back, how long he has to wait. So, but if he's missing again, then against Houston, yes, I do like Jordan Wilkins. Houston is god-awful against the run, basically against everything, but especially against the run. So Jordan Wilkins would become a high ad if Jonathan Taylor were to miss time. I obviously would want Devontae Booker and Alexander Mattison before him, but after him, after those two, Jordan Wilkins. The next one here is Collin Johnson. Now, this is more like speculation, but Mike Glennon's first game, this was his most targeted wide receiver. Now, I expect probably DJ Chark to be back next week, Chris Conley, so this is why I wouldn't add him, like on the waivers, put it in a claim for him. But if he's still there and say Chark and Conley are both ruled out, this is somebody I would keep an eye on just because he seems like maybe he's the preferred guy for Mike Glennon. Next week they play Minnesota, who Minnesota is not very good against the pass as well. They don't have that good of a secondary. So somebody I would consider, once again, don't put in the claim, but if he's still there and Chark is ruled out, Conley's ruled out again, then yes. He's I think an okay flex in the tight ends, and that's going to be Kyle Rudolph. Also, this depends on Thielen. I'd imagine Thielen's probably back, and Irv Smith, if he's back, then no, not Kyle Rudolph. But if one of those, preferably if Irv Smith is out, then I think Kyle Rudolph I have some interest in. Just because tight end is extremely brutal as well, right? It's terrible. But hey, 8 targets, 7 catches, that's pretty good for a tight end. I'd take that. Next one would be Tyler Eifert. Tyler Eifert scored a touchdown. Now, he needed a touchdown, otherwise it'd be a pretty terrible day, but hey, maybe in the red zone they look his way. I don't know, but if you're desperate, could get worse. Somebody that, if you have nobody, say your tight end is Noah Fant, and next week they play Hinton again at the quarterback position, then yeah, somebody I would add in that circumstance. The next one here is going to be Jordan Reed. Now, this was a tough matchup against the Rams, basically for everybody on the San Francisco team, except Debo. Debo crushed it. But Jordan Reed, he has a much better matchup next week against Buffalo. So if you're a little discouraged by this, I know it's tough. The tight end position is just terrible. But next week against Buffalo, it does get easier. So I would consider him as a, if you need a tight end to play, he would be an option. The next one here is going to be Will Dissley. I do think Will Dissley, if he has a good game tonight against Philly, he is somebody that I would have interest in season long. Last year, he had a pretty good season, was having a pretty good season, and then he tore his ACL. So if he has a good game against Philly, consider picking him up for season long. This is also coming out before the Philly game, so keep your eye out. So some streaming options for this weekend at the quarterback position. Kirk Cousins, maybe not available in your leagues, but plays Jacksonville. Very good matchup for him. Basically the whole Minnesota team. So is a pretty good streaming option, would be my first option next week at the quarterback position. Next one would be Phillip Rivers. Obviously gets Houston. Houston, I've already talked about it, not a good defense anywhere, like across the board. So I do think he's an okay streaming option as well at the quarterback position. Another one is going to be Derek Carr. This is somebody who's rostered in 57% of leagues, but I imagine that to go down due to his week this week. I think he has a much better game next week against the Jets. So he's somebody that obviously wait for the team to drop him. And if you need a quarterback, I do think he's a good streaming option as well. And the last one here is going to be Sam Darnold. Now, this is total desperation play. If there's nobody else left on your waivers or free agency, I definitely want to put in a claim for him. But if there's nobody else, plays the Raiders next week, not too bad of a matchup. So, hey, it's a desperation play if you need a quarterback, and he's probably available in your league, 8% rostered, so consider it. With that being said, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're not sure if you should drop this player for this player, let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.